For the last academic year, collectively the Inns contributed, I think it was around £5 million to scholarships. So it's something that each of the Inns takes quite seriously. For Inner Temple, we contributed £1,575,000 of that. The important thing to remember is that whilst the different Inns will contribute different sums of money, they'll also allocate their scholarship funds kind of as they see fit. So what we did is we put aside around £1.2 million for the BPTC and then around £200,000 for the GDL. For those who would like to do the GDL, we ask that you get your applications in the first Friday in May, and that's the year that you intend to start the GDL course. And then for those doing the BPTC, we ask that you get your application in the first Friday in November, the year before you intend to begin the BPTC. Always do kind of check what's going on at each of the Inns, although it's also important to be aware that the Inns collaborate on their deadlines as well. So the first Friday in May will be the same across the board. For the GDL last year, it was up to £12,000, and then for the bar professional training course, it was up to £22,000. It kind of tends to change, I suppose, slightly year on year because the amount of money that we allocate increases, and also depends on the number of candidates that we have. In terms of the interview process, they also vary across the Inns. So some will shortlist beforehand. We actually don't shortlist, we will interview every candidate. And the reason for that is, you may well have on paper one person who puts together quite a strong legal CV, but they may well have contacts in chambers who can support them to do those things. And then you may have an equally talented person who just simply isn't as well connected. So by having all of our candidates come in and perform in front of a panel, we can assess everybody in as robust and well-rounded a way as possible. Okay, well, it's important to remember that there's no exact science when it comes to preparing for these things, but there are definitely, as you mentioned, some things that can help. So one of the things that you might be called upon to do or demonstrate in a GDL or BPTC interview is just some kind of general awareness of kind of legal news and what's going on. I'm not sure if you're aware, but Inner Temple has a fantastic resource through its library called Current Awareness. So our librarians will research some really interesting news items, we'll kind of put them in an email and we'll send them to all of its subscribers. So it avoids you having to do the hard work of sourcing all this news. Additionally, we also ask for 3 to 4 mini pupillages. With mini pupillages and also other legal work experience, it's quite important to note that we don't want you just to do it as a box ticking exercise. Let's say, for instance, you have somebody who wants to do commercial law. There'd be no point in just kind of doing work experience or mini pupillage at a criminal set of chambers, because it doesn't demonstrate that your commitment to that particular practice area. So do give it a lot of thought, and then target as many chambers as possible for mini pupillages. Additionally, I mentioned other kinds of work experience. So that might be volunteering for the Citizens Advice Bureau, it could be some pro bono work, it could be various universities will have their own kind of law schemes, taking part in those things. Potentially even legal research as well would be really good, some legal writing, blogging perhaps. All kinds of things that demonstrate your commitment to the bar and your interest in the sector. Don't shy away from mentioning things that you've done in other areas. That could be volunteering things, just any non-legal work. But what you might need to do is kind of tease out what you feel are the transferable skills, and demonstrate that you're aware of what's required of you at the bar as well, by kind of couching the work experience you do have in terms of how it would support you in becoming a barrister. Ultimately though, our scholarships are awarded based on academic merit. So a 2-1 and a first, or a first, kind of what you should be shooting for.